What if I told you that in 2023, the key to YouTube success isn't about views, subscribers, or even content quality? I've analyzed over 1,000 channels, and there's a hidden trend that's causing a massive shift in who's making money on this platform and who isn't. And as someone who's gone from struggling creator and business owner to making 300K a month on YouTube, I can tell you this. If you're not using this strategy, you're leaving thousands of potential subscribers and dollars on the table every single day. And what we're talking about today is the less is more philosophy, a concept that might seem counterintuitive at first, but trust me, it's changing the game. Let's kick things off with the first pillar of this philosophy: less editing. Now I know what you're thinking, Shane, aren't flashy edits and constant stimulation the key to keeping viewers engaged? Well, not anymore, because the tide is turning. And raw, authentic, minimalist editing is rapidly replacing the hyper-edited, retention-focused style. Don't believe me? Let's look at some heavy hitters who are leading this charge. Take Mr. Beast, for example, Jimmy Donaldson, the mastermind behind the Mr. Beast empire. It's been obvious that he's gradually shifting away from his signature ADHD-style editing. His recent videos showcased a much more stripped-back, authentic, story-focused approach. Why? Because he's recognized that genuine connection trumps flashy editing. But it's not just the big players making this shift. Let's talk about Sam Sulek, a fitness influencer who's taken the internet by storm. Sam's videos are about as raw as they come. Often just him, a camera, and his thoughts. No fancy transitions, no over-the-top graphics, and guess what? He's blowing up. He's by far the fastest growing channel in the fitness niche. And even channels that aren't that big are benefiting from this approach. For instance, Charlie Morgan. He's making around $1.3 million a month, and he's doing it with a channel that just passed 100,000 subscribers. And the craziest thing is he's recording with what some might call a potato. He uses an iPhone camera, minimalist editing, in fact, sometimes there's no editing at all, and he's crushing it in the B2B space, teaching people how to make money online. So why is this minimalist editing approach working so well? Well, it all boils down to one crucial factor: genuine connection. And that, my friends, is what YouTube is really all about. People turn to YouTube for three primary reasons. They're lonely and seeking connection, they're bored and looking for entertainment, or they want to learn something new. And sometimes all three. And when viewers click on a video, especially in the B2B or educational space, they come with the expectation of education. They're not here for a light show. They're here to gain valuable insights. And that's where the power of educational content comes into play. And let me tell you, educational content is the golden ticket to monetization. It's 10 times easier to monetize than purely entertainment-based content. Why? Because you're providing real value. You're solving real problems, and you're building real trust with your audience. And you don't have to rely just on making money from AdSense. And this minimalist, education-focused approach is particularly powerful for B2B or sophisticated audiences. These viewers are looking for substance, not style. And they want to see the real you, hear your authentic thoughts, and gain actionable insights. Now let's talk about the second pillar of our less is more philosophy: less views. Now I know, this probably sounds crazy, right? I mean, aren't we all trying to chase those viral numbers? Well, not necessarily. Smart content creators are starting to shift their focus from mass market audiences to more niche targeted viewers. Why? Because it's more profitable. Let me share a couple examples that will blow your mind. I have a client who runs a recruiting company, and they target a very specific position that's notoriously hard for business owners to hire for. And their videos are lucky to get 100 views each, but they're pulling in over 7 figures a year. How? Because they're reaching exactly who they need to reach: business owners that are interested in hiring this extremely niche position. Another client, let's call them Client Y, runs an IT company. They create content specifically for business owners who use a certain suite of products and encounter issues. And their view counts? Well, they're lucky to get 500 views per video. But their revenue? They're making 8 figures a year. Yes, $10 million a year. And these examples aren't anomalies. They're the future of content creation, especially in the B2B space with a sophisticated audience, aka people who actually have money. And it's not about reaching everyone. It's about reaching the right people. Now let's dive into our third pillar: less marketing. And this one might ruffle a few feathers, but hear me out. When you're targeting a sophisticated audience, aka people who actually have money, you don't need all the bells and whistles of traditional marketing. In fact, stripping it back can actually work in your favor. Let me give you a personal example. When I first launched this channel, Shane Hummus Unfiltered, do you want to know what my entire marketing strategy was? A Calendly link in the description. That's it. No elaborate sales funnel, no fancy landing pages, just a simple way for interested viewers to book a call with me. And the result? $30,000 in the first month with a brand new channel and a brand new offer. Many successful content creators are simplifying their funnels, and many are going for a more direct approach where they get the person straight on a sales call. And others are using indirect but uncomplicated methods. Now, why does this work? Because business owners and sophisticated audiences have seen it all. They know all the marketing tricks in the book. And by stripping away all the fluff and getting straight to the point, you're showing respect for their time and intelligence. And trust me, they appreciate that. Now, even if you're in the B2B space, there's still value in simplifying your approach. We all know what works: lead magnets to build an email list, webinars to provide value and showcase expertise, and direct to sales page promotions. And the key is to maintain a balance. I recommend a ratio of 20% direct promotion to 80% valuable content in the B2C space. However, if you're marketing to a more sophisticated audience, you can flip this and do direct promotion 80% of the time and lead magnets the other 20% of the time. Just as an example, if you're interested in how to grow and monetize your personal brand using YouTube, you can book a call with me down in the description in the pinned comment below. Now, before we dive deeper into these strategies, let's talk about why this less is more approach is so effective, especially in the B2B space. In my years of experience, both as a content creator and working with clients, I've noticed a significant shift in what audiences value. They're craving authenticity. They want to connect with real people, not polished personas. And this desire for authenticity is why minimally edited content often performs better. It feels more genuine, more relatable. And when you strip away the fancy edits and the flashy graphics, what's left is you, your knowledge, your personality, and your unique perspective. And that, my friends, is what truly resonates with viewers. If your audience wanted world-class video quality and editing, they'd just turn on the TV. But your audience isn't looking for entertainment. They're looking for solutions, insights, and a connection with someone who understands their challenges. Now, let me share a quick story that illustrates this point perfectly. I had a client, let's call him Tom, who was struggling to gain traction with his YouTube channel. Tom was in the SaaS space targeting small business owners, and he was investing heavily in a high-quality production. Professional lighting, scripted content, the works. But despite his polished videos, his engagement was low. Viewers were not sticking around and his conversion rates were abysmal. We stripped everything back. Tom started recording quick, off-the-cuff videos addressing common pain points for his target audience. No script, no fancy editing, just Tom, his expertise, and his camera. And the results? Views skyrocketed and engagement went through the roof. But most importantly, his conversion rates tripled. Why? Because his audience could finally see the real Tom, passionate, knowledgeable, and genuinely committed to solving their problems. And this is the power of authenticity in action. It's not about having the most polished content, it's about having the most valuable, genuine content. Now, you might be wondering, Shane, this all sounds great, but why does it work? Well, let's dive into the psychology behind this less is more approach. First, we need to understand a fundamental truth about human nature. We're wired for connection. And in our increasingly digital world, people are hungry for genuine human interaction. And this is why raw, authentic content often outperforms highly polished productions. When you present yourself authentically, without the veneer of heavy editing or marketing speak, you're inviting your audience to connect with you on a human level. You're saying, this is me, take it or leave it. And more often than not, people will choose to take it. Secondly, there's a concept of cognitive load. Our brains can only process so much information at once, and when you bombard viewers with flashy edits, complex graphics, and rapid-fire information, you're increasing their cognitive load. And this can lead to mental fatigue and, ironically, decreased retention of your message. So by simplifying your content and your marketing approach, you're reducing this cognitive load. You're making it easier for your audience to focus on what really matters: your message, your expertise, and your solutions to their problems. Now, lastly, there's a principle of reciprocity. When you provide genuine value without asking for anything in return, you're creating a sense of obligation in your audience. They'll feel compelled to reciprocate, whether that's by engaging more with your content, sharing it with others, or ultimately doing business with you. So how can you start implementing this less is more approach in your own content strategy? Well, let's break it down into actionable steps. Start by stripping back your editing process. Focus on clear, concise delivery of your message rather than fancy transitions or effects. And remember, your expertise is the star of the show, not your editing skills. Then, instead of trying to appeal to everyone, focus on creating highly targeted content for a specific audience. Remember our examples earlier? It's not about reaching millions, it's about reaching the right people. And as someone who has a channel with nearly 1 million subscribers, I predict that this channel is likely going to be making more than that channel within the next few years, even though it gets far, far less views every month. Next, simplify your marketing funnel. Don't be afraid to be direct. Remember, a simple Calendly link in my description generated $30,000 in the first month of starting this channel. So trust that your content is valuable enough to speak for itself. Next, be yourself on camera. Share your genuine thoughts, experiences, and insights. And don't be afraid to show your personality or even some of your vulnerabilities. This is what creates a real connection with your audience. And remember, YouTube viewers come with an expectation of education, so prioritize providing real actionable value in every piece of content you create. There is no other platform out there where people come with this expectation of education. Every other platform is basically entertainment, but YouTube is different, so treat it as such. Next, interact with your audience in a real human way. Respond to comments, ask for feedback, and create content that addresses their specific needs and questions. Some of my best performing content ever came from my users suggesting certain things or asking questions in the comment section. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Shane, this all sounds great, but what about, won't my content look unprofessional if it's not highly edited? How can I compete with bigger channels if I'm niching down? Won't I lose my potential customers if I simplify my marketing funnel? And these are all valid concerns, and I want to address them head on. First of all, professionalism isn't about flashy edits or perfect lighting. True professionalism shines through in the value you provide, the expertise you share, and the results you help your audience achieve. If your content is genuinely helpful, your audience won't care if it was shot on an iPhone or in a professional studio. As for competition, remember this: when you niche down, you're no longer competing with the big generalist channels. You're carving out your own space where you can be the go-to expert in that specific niche. And it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in the ocean. And regarding simplified marketing, remember that your ideal clients, especially in the B2B space or with a sophisticated audience, aka people that actually have money, value their time. They appreciate directness and authenticity. So by simplifying your approach, you're respecting their time and their intelligence, which can actually increase your conversion rates. Now, let me share a few more success stories to really drive home the power of this approach. One of my clients is Wojtek, who's a Polish entrepreneur. And when he first came to me, he was struggling with consistently creating content for his education business. And he was overwhelmed by the work that he had to do with highly edited, highly produced videos. So we implemented the less is more approach, focusing on authentic, value-driven content with minimalist editing. And Wojtek's story is a perfect example of how simplifying your approach can lead to consistent, effective content creation. Then there's Troy Buckholt. He's the founder of a company called Course Careers. And when we first started working together, Troy was making around $30,000 a month. And by focusing on authentic, value-driven content and simplifying his approach, he's now making multi-millions of dollars per month. And we tested all kinds of different content, and we found that super simple content actually performed far better than the content that's difficult to make. And here's what Troy had to say. Now, these success stories are not outliers. They're the result of consistently applying the less is more philosophy to content creation and marketing. Now, as we wrap up, I want to talk about the future of content creation, personal branding, and marketing. The trends that we're seeing now and the shift towards authenticity, the focus on niche audience, the simplification of marketing, these aren't just passing fads. They represent a fundamental shift in how audiences consume content and how businesses connect with their customers. And in the coming years, I predict we'll see even more emphasis on genuine expertise and authentic connection. The era of style over substance is coming to an end. Audiences are becoming more discerning, more value-focused, and they are craving authenticity. And they're not just looking for information, they're looking for trusted advisors, for real experts who can guide them through their challenges. And even if you're not an expert, like this guy, Moan, as long as you're authentic and you tell the truth about what you're doing, you can still get hundreds of thousands of views. Moan recorded his very first time cold calling for SMMA, and he was able to get 300,000 views and absolutely blow his channel up. And he did this by being authentic. And there wasn't any fancy edits, he literally just recorded himself doing something that he was going to do anyways. So this shift represents an incredible opportunity for anyone building a personal brand. And by embracing the less is more philosophy, you're positioning yourself at the forefront of this trend. You're going to be building the kind of authentic, value-driven presence that will increasingly be in demand. So here's my challenge to you. Take a hard look at your current content strategy. Are you overcomplicating things? Are you trying to appeal to too broad of an audience? Are you hiding your true expertise behind flashy edits and complex marketing funnels? If so, I want you to try something. For your next piece of content, strip it all back. Focus solely on delivering value. Be authentic, be direct. Speak to your specific audience and their specific needs. And if you want help implementing this approach, if you want to learn how to truly leverage YouTube to grow your business and your personal brand and make real money, I invite you to book a call with myself or my team with the link down in the description below. We've helped countless content creators, coaches, consultants, agency owners, etc. transform their YouTube presence and significantly boost their revenue. And remember, in the world of B2B content creation, less is truly more. It's not about having the most views, the fanciest edits, or the most complex marketing strategy. It's about creating genuine connections, delivering real value, and positioning yourself as the go-to expert in your niche. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you'll also enjoy a video I made on how monk mode made me a millionaire. And you can check that out by clicking right here.